Caution. Content's hot. You got to give me all you got. Caution. Content's hot. You got to give me all you got.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reeshard Travel Live Show. So happy to have you with me here on what is my Friday evening, maybe Saturday morning to some of those tuning in from Thailand. And I know that we have a couple people from the UK that are actually staying up late. I think it's the middle of the night, 3 a.m. for them. So welcome all of you and welcome back, Australia. Looks like you got a lot of great people that were coming in before the show started. I love to see those comments, all the camaraderie going on, comments back and forth. That is great. So I want to say good morning to all my friends in Thailand. I can see you there. I appreciate you getting up early for the show. And what do you have for me?
Good morning, Richard.
Hey, Richard. Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Carl's Thailand is the most awake of that three. Brian Flowers looked pretty good. Lucas looked a little tired. He had a little bit too much beer the night before. Although I guess you're not supposed to be drinking these days in Thailand. So shame on them. But hey, thanks for putting that together, guys. I appreciate that. I kind of laughed out loud when I saw that. So thank you to Carl from Carl's Thailand. Appreciate that. Let's get started. We've got a full schedule today. We may go a little over. Got so much to fit in. I got a lot of great funny videos for you today. So I hope you came ready to be entertained. Thank you to the moderators that are in the chat today, making sure everything stays good. Appreciate that. Mr. Mitch, Tommy J, Robert Mack in Asia. All you guys, appreciate that. Appreciate you guys taking care of the chat. You know, Day State Fox used to come in here pretty regularly, but, you know, the new time is kind of messing with this schedule a little bit. And we're going to kind of bring up Day State Fox in a couple minutes because I got something I want to show you regarding Day State Fox. And our guest today, 20 Seconds in Thailand, Thailand Rob, rejoining us for his second appearance. So excited to have Rob come back. Got a lot to talk about. I don't know if you saw the title, Time to Leave, a little controversial. Got some controversial topics to talk about today with Rob. So looking forward to getting into that. About 15 minutes past the hour, we'll bring him in here. Before we get too far along, some housekeeping. The Saturday live show is copyright protected against use by any third party unless approval is provided by myself. So just run it by me and happy to kind of give you the clearance to do that. Let me do this. Let me put up the exchange rate because everyone's always curious about that. I will tell you the USD definitely gaining in value this week. British pound about the same, Australian dollar about the same, but things are looking up for the US dollar for us coming over there. So, you know, my big goal was to maybe have it at 35 or 36 when I got back there. And I think that might reach 35 by January. So I'll let that roll as I kind of welcome in the live chat. I love everyone that came in today. I want to address some of the comments that I'm seeing. We got a lot of people in there. I do want to welcome back Chocolate Man in Thailand. I saw that he was in there. Tommy J, how you doing? Good to see you in there. We got the old man in here. That's great. Nikki Dunn stayed up for this, saying, I hope your trip is good, Chocolate Man in Thailand. So thank you, Nikki, for staying up until 3 a.m. to watch the show. Much appreciated. And there we go. We got Chocolate Man in Thailand right there. Appreciate that. Good seeing you in there, James. I've been loving your last couple of videos. I saw the one where you were looking for the laptop in Best Buy. They didn't quite have what you're looking for. And hopefully on the next video, we get to see what you got. That would be good. Kobus saying, retire like a king. Good morning to Greenie and Fi. I guess they're in the chat as well. Carl's Thailand saying hello to Robert Mack. We got Mr. Mitch in here. Oh, here we go. Got a future guest in the chat here. Life After Kids with, now I'm going to mispronounce this. I know I got to get with her and I got to figure out how to pronounce this. I'm going to say Kai Williams. So either she's applauding out loud where she's tuning in from in Thailand, or she's giving me a big thumbs down. She's like, not even close, Richard. So maybe I got it, but she's coming on the show in a couple weeks. Oh man, great channel. You got to check it out. We spotlighted some of her videos in the past live shows. So please go check that out because it's a great channel and she'll be coming on to join us in a couple weeks. Huawei's in the house saying hello to Reeshard Travel. Nice to have you in here. I see her in all the different live streams that I go to and visit as well, which is nice. Robert Max saying hello to 20 Seconds in Thailand. Thailand Rob. Got Baldy Brian in Thailand in the house. Another great channel. Similar to Carl's Thailand. They do a lot of collaboration, go on hikes together, this kind of thing, have separate videos. But we're going to spotlight one of his videos in the Vlogger News segment. So appreciate that. There we go. Retire like a king. Never get used to seeing that name yet, Greenie. But hello, Greenie, and good morning, Fi if you're in the house. So appreciate that. Appreciate you guys making in. That's nice. Michael saying hello to Mr. Mitch. Welcome to the live chat. We got Brian Flowers in the house saying hello to CJ. You scan through here, see if I missed anyone. Great. I think I got everyone this time. Pretty good. Not bad. I'll pat myself on the back a little bit there. I think I got just about everyone. Oh, David Kennedy. Forgot to mention David Kennedy. And Jake McShane. There we go. I think I got everyone. If I missed you, keep posting. I promise I'll profile a comment of yours at some point. So got a lot going on today. So the exchange rate's looking good in our favor, which is great. I wanted to say thoughts for a continued recovery of Uli at the YouTube channel Sawas D. So you might have seen a video that Uli put out if you follow his channel, speaking about the motorbike accident that he had. So really serious motorbike accident. He actually broke some bones during the accident, and some unfortunate things happen with regards to medical insurance, this kind of thing. I would say, I don't want to get into a whole lot of it on the show today, but I would say he's got a great video that spotlights what happened to him. I would say go to that Mr. Mitch or Tommy J or Robert Mack. If you could put the link in there for that latest video by Uli, that would be great, because it really walks you through the situation that he had there with the motorbike accident. It's really unfortunate. And that's actually nice. He profiled a little bit of the live show on his latest video. So again, if you want to use parts of the video, you can just, ask me. So he used it on his latest video, which was great. And then just to let you know, for the Vlogger News segment, so that usually takes place at the last half hour of the show. So at the hour, we'll take an intermission break where I'll show you a video, and then we'll start to run through Vlogger News. And the big news today is I have a surprise guest coming on the show today to run through the Vlogger News with me. So you have to wait to see who that surprise guest is, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to bringing another vlogger in to kind of go through Vlogger News with me. And I know we addressed this already, but I wanted to officially say welcome back to America, Chocolate Man in Thailand. I believe he's currently in Seattle, Washington. So I texted him saying, if you happen to come a little bit south to San Francisco, let me know. Happy to meet up with you. I don't know what his travel plans are. I know he's trying to meet up with Chuck at some point from No Time to Be Sad. So I think he may be going to Texas. I don't know. But he's got a busy agenda, I'm sure. I'm sure everyone's trying to text him to make, get with him, this kind of thing. So Daystate Fox, I mentioned earlier that Daystate Fox is actually, it's a little early for him or a little late, however you look at it, for London. So 3 a.m. in the morning for Daystate Fox. But I did get news that actually Daystate Fox was taking delivery of a new car today. So I thought what might be cool is if we actually went there to check out the delivery of this new car, because, Daystate Fox, he's got nice taste in cars. So let's go to the UK and let's check out Daystate Fox's car delivery. didn't quite go as I had planned. Let's get back to the chat here. Hey, so you're Mojo. Nice to welcome you into the chat here. Nice to see you there. Sorry about that, Day State. It's gotta not be good. Retire Like a King says he's barely awake. Good morning. Must be 9 a.m. there in Thailand. Good to see you. That's great. Gotta love Thailand. Dave in the house saying hello to Carl's Thailand. Gotta love Thailand. Another great channel that we profile on occasion here on the show. And I actually go on his live stream every now and again. He does a live stream a couple times a week. So I feel, go check that out. He's actually building a house in rural Thailand. So he's nearing completion of that house, similar to what Foreigner Joe did with his house, kind of building it up from scratch. And there's some really wonderful videos on Gotta Love Thailand's YouTube channel that go through that. So I say check that out. It's pretty fun stuff. Keep posting in the chat, guys. That's looking good. I got all of my comments coming in big buckets. And Nikki Dunn saying hi to Retire Like a King and Baldy Brian and Brian Flowers. So I heard a little birdie told me that Brian Flowers might have his dad joining the chat today. So I'm going to keep an eye out in the live show in the chat to see if Brian Flowers' dad comes on the show. So Brian Flowers' dad actually has a YouTube channel of his own. It's called Keith in Thailand. So I don't know if Mr. Mitch or Tommy J might want to post the link to Brian Flowers' dad's YouTube channel. That would be cool. So I'd appreciate that. And we're going to kind of profile that channel in the Vlogger News. And Chocolate Man in Thailand say live in one province to another, maybe. That's great. Talking through all of that. Perfect. Good. I think I'm all caught up on the comments. This is good. And great. Let me go to this, clear this one out. So let's do this. Let me clear this comment out. Got a lot going on today, guys. Great. So let's do this. Let's think about bringing Rob into the live show. I got a high energy intro for him because I thought, it's morning his time. He's used to coming on the show in the evening time. So I had to kind of pump up the energy level of the intro to make sure that he's awake, got the caffeine going, and he's ready to go and chat for about an hour or 45 minutes. Let's see how long Rob can last in the morning this morning. So let's cue the intro. Let's bring Rob into the live show.
He's in Thailand, Thailand Rob. Today is the best day of my life. Why? Because I have you watching me and I live here. I'm making a lot of friends over here in Thailand. This is Anton.
Can you take this asshole back to America, please?
Yeah. Never mind.
Cheers.
Ooh, hey, I was trying to get your dance moves down. I know you get like a little point thing, and then you kind of go this way. I didn't know what's going on. It's crazy. But what do you think of that music? Isn't that great?
That's a great intro. Man. I'm a happy guy in the afternoons and the evenings.
Yeah. I know it's not your normal time, right?
I'll be waking up in about an hour. Yeah.
That's not good timing for the show. So I guess we'll just exit you out, bring someone else in.
Oh my God. Yeah. For those that don't know, I still thought we were doing a 9 p.m. show. So I was completely 12 hours off.
Yeah, I was actually texting Brian Flowers. I said, listen, I need your help because I think this is a surprise to Rob, the new time of the show. So you got to ring his phone off the hook to make sure he gets up.
And he did.
Yeah, it's so great. So Rob, so much to talk to you about today, man. But I first want to say thanks for coming on the show, man. I appreciate you making the time. Second time on the show. I appreciate that. But we got a lot to talk about because the title of this live show was Time to Leave, right? So
correct.
Maybe a little bit of clickbait there. A little professional courtesy because, Rob is not currently in his home in Kamala. He's actually outside of that. So I think what we're trying to say, and forgive us if you misunderstood the title, he wanted to leave that place to go home to Kamala.
That's true. But there's actually more to it. I actually do want to leave Thailand. I already have my tickets back to the U.S. I've already got the
what airline is that? Allegiant?
You caught me off guard. What's the
Was it Allegiant? Is that what you said to
Yeah,
me?
Allegiant. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Do they travel that far? When you told me that, I was thinking, I don't know if they do long trips.
Yeah. They go to New York.
Yeah. What do I know?
They don't go past New York. They go to New York and they turn around.
Yeah.
So every time I have to book a flight, that they stop at New York, and then I have to take somebody else down to wherever else I'm going. They won't go any further.
I want to say hello to Sick Puppy real quick, Rob. Just saying, hey, Reeshard, we are in the Mission in San Francisco for dinner with the legend Ben Manila. So welcome to the live show. I'm actually meeting up with Ben Manila and Sick Puppy after the show in San Francisco. I'm getting out of the town tonight, Rob. Getting out of my comfort zone.
Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't have the comments running up over here. So, hey, everybody out there. I apologize, Mr. I see everybody now.
Is this your first time with StreamYard?
This is the first time that I've ever had StreamYard on. And
see, I can tell when you get nervous, your real voice comes out. Is that your real voice?
yes, sir. I watched too much Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
What we have here is a problem to communicate.
So I probably wouldn't reuse that voice too much longer. I think that's a horrible voice.
That's
actually
absolutely
kind of
that's
scary.
the story voice where I would do the hick from North Carolina. People laugh their ass off or they hate it. There's no forgiveness in a gray area. But anyway, so I've got the tickets back to America, but I do have them on hold because of COVID. So I want.
Thanks for saying that word, by the way. Now I'm demonetized.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Appreciate that. Tommy J is going to start messaging me. He just said the word. That's like my moderators keep me in line. They count how many times you say that. So.
Oh no, I've never been demonetized for saying the word.
Yeah.
But no, I'm trying to get back to Phuket.
I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you. See, I have had too much caffeine today, and you're just waking up. So I'm like on a different energy level than you.
Absolutely, yeah. You've been going all that. You're after this. You're off to just relax, and I'm just going to go out and grow some more tomato plants.
So I totally interrupted you. I'm going to be a better host because I'm going to get comments then saying, will you let Rob talk? So I'm going to zip it and let you talk about getting back to the U.S. because you're talking about you have a ticket already purchased on Allegiant Air, which is a flagship carrier of long-haul flights, right? They're right up there with Cathay Pacific, Allegiant.
Yeah, I haven't flown Cathay, but I've heard their ratings are superior or equal to the one of the best airlines to fly on. I've just never been with them.
Yeah, all right.
But
so why are you looking to get back to the U.S.? Like I know you want to get back to Kamala, but you also want to make a trip to the U.S. Why is that?
Well, I haven't been back for 2 years now. So all my family is thankfully still alive, and everyone is just there, and I just haven't seen family or friends since the word that I won't use broke out.
You can use it. I don't care. I don't make much money off YouTube. Go ahead and say it. We should all say it together.
No. Let's don't do that. I do find it funny when everyone changes the word and they call it the situation, or they call it the.
You know who I learned that from is Simon Landis Smiles. He calls it the worldwide illness. That's what I was going with.
Oh, I didn't know he did that.
Sounds very important. Worldwide illness.
But so the short answer back to Phuket. The short answer is, as of next month, as of this month, they've reduced the emissions to get back. It was like, if I tried to get back there, they need to see that I've had the vaccine, at least one shot of vaccine. I've had to have a test, the swab test, and so for my content suffering up here, I've been trying to get back to Phuket. But for the hoops that they wanted me to jump through, I've just said no. I'm not in that much of a hurry to get back there to go. I'm not scared of the vaccine, so I'll go get the vaccine. But I'm really waiting for it to just be a walk-in, get the vaccine, rather than signing up on the websites, waiting for them to call and book an appointment. I'm not really an appointment guy anymore. I can't stand appointments. I'd rather just walk in, get the shot. And I even thought about going back to the U.S. to get it for free.
Mm-hmm.
and see my family and then come back over. But then there was still the quarantine when I got over here, and it's just made traveling a pain in the ass. Really, that's pretty much all it is. And I just need to get back. I need to leave where I'm at. So the clickbait thumbnail is not incorrect. I'm hopefully within this month not going to be within these yellow walls.
Well, we got a request here, and I always look at my requests. 30 and Wake Up saying, can we get more Anton? So I always say, be careful what you ask for.
Can you take this asshole back to America, please?
Oh, he's great.
He's yeah, everyone, but he's in France now, and he's not that kid anymore. He's a teenager now.
Oh wow, yeah, because that was a little while ago. That was what 5-6 years ago, probably.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah, so he's probably speaking like this.
It was so amazing, though. It was the first time I'd ever seen a kid just cuss, like in front of everybody. Nobody corrected him. Nobody called him out for it. He would just play video games and curse like a drunken sailor.
Yeah, he speaks very good English.
He speaks French, Thai, and English. So he can cuss you out in 3 languages.
James is saying you can play that 5 more times. I laugh every time. Yeah, and I think I left a comment for you on your video like a couple years back when you stopped playing that for a while. I was like, what happened to Anton? I love that. It was like part of your outro, You're like, I'll start putting it back in.
It's funny because everyone likes it except my mom.
Yeah.
My mom, every time I would talk to her, she's like, how's the show going? And really don't like what he says at the end.
Now, who's the other guy that you have on there? Is that like an Aussie guy that you have?
Oh my
big Aussie
God.
Guy? Who's that?
If you hadn't asked me his name, I could tell you, but I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, I don't know what he was saying, but I guess it's some kind of slang or something.
Thor.
Yeah.
Tron. Tron. Tron, I think.
It's probably not his real name then, huh?
I think it actually is. It's short for his name. Yeah.
Okay.
I rarely speak to him. We still talk every now and then on Facebook, but I met him, 5 years ago or something like that. And he's got a really outgoing personality. I mean, he's boom. And he kept like a coach. And he was there. If today's good, it's good. If it's better than good, it's goody goody.
Goody goody. Oh, that's what he's saying. Goody goody. Yeah, goody goody.
And so I said, come on, man. So I took the camera out and we were ducking under to get some light under the hood of the grill. And that's why I hit him underneath it, and he's going, goody goody. It's like
that's
this big giant.
I always wondered what he was saying. Like I didn't quite understand it. So
goody
nice to have
goody.
that talk. So Jay is asking you, Rob, have you ever thought about traveling back to Phuket by car or van? It's a long trip, but
I've thought about hiding in the back of a truck. Absolutely.
Wow.
Like
you thought about that, huh? Keep you up at night?
Huh?
Keep you up at night thinking about that? I'm going to hide in the back of a truck.
I was going to walk all the way to the border. And then when I got on the border, I was just going to do the old hitchhiker sign. And when a truck came with some, like pigs in the back or something like that, I was just going to like nestle in with them and just, duck with the bald head and get through. And I thought about that. I also thought about taking, I can't say, but I have thought about getting back in unconventionally. Yes.
Jay East gets it. He said, goody, goody. It's interesting. So you had kind of a controversial video that you put up a couple weeks back. Maybe it's even been longer since you put it up there, but it was about your current situation, the apartment you're staying at, and a situation breakout. I'll say it, a COVID breakout. Oh my gosh. No one zapped me. I think I'm still in business. We still live? Okay.
Yeah.
So a breakout where you were actually like on quarantine for a couple weeks, right? And it was nuts. That video, what's the name of that video, by the way, too? Maybe Mitch can post a link to that.
The one that I think the last one was the living in the house of Sovid.
Yeah. Well, that was a good video because it talks about like someone tested positive and they basically locked down the whole apartment. And if you went out to 7-Eleven to get something, people would look at you weird because it's a small little area you're in. Then they knew like, you got the virus, It's a little nuts there.
The neighbors all talk. So when the gentleman was diagnosed with it, of course, all the neighbors knew, and everyone in Thailand knows who stays where. Plus, I'm the only Farang for miles here. So when the diagnosis came in, they told everyone within the building, stay in the building. Don't self-quarantine, is what they said. And they looked at me, they told me that, and I went a little bit American on them for a second. I said, I'll go wherever the heck I want to go. I don't have it. And then I calmed down because it's just being told what to do as an adult. It makes you want to, fight back. But no.
Yeah.
So I stayed 2 weeks in the house. They brought me my beer and they brought me my food. So I said, fine. So I stayed here for 2 weeks. Then 2 more weeks, the house was worried because they thought, well, maybe they could have gotten it on the very last day that he had it, which is all BS. And then it was 2 weeks after. What was the 2 weeks after that? I can't. It was six weeks. The 2 weeks he was actually sick. The 2 weeks of him quarantine, and then the 2 weeks after that, the mom that lives in this building wouldn't even speak with her family. I mean, she stayed away from everyone in the corner of the house by herself. But it was. I kept telling everybody, we're fine. We would have gotten it weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if I walked down the street and they saw me, if people didn't know that I was staying here, they thought maybe I just got off a plane, so they didn't want to come in contact with me. And it got some strange looks for sure.
I feel like that story was more exciting on your video. Did you put some background music in on your video? Why did I like that? I don't know.
It's called editing.
But I'm just giving you a hard time. I thought it was a
No
great video
worries.
because it talks about just the crazy stuff that goes on there. Like if you tested positive, like watch out. At least that's how it was back then. I don't know if it's changed a little bit now. I feel like people are maybe less afraid now moving forward, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure.
Well, I know some of the people here, they were scared, really scared of the vaccine. But then some of them started getting and seeing their coworkers get it and with no issue. So I think you're right. The fear is kind of coming down a little bit.
Before you address Mojo's question about the AC, just want to say hello to Time to Get Going. They're a channel that we had on a while back. Great channel. Go check that out. Mr. Mitch, Tommy J, if you can put a link to their channel, that'd be great. Wonderful channel. And we had them on the show a little earlier. But your Mojo's asking about the AC. How's the AC doing?
AC is, I tell you what, that was the best inexpensive investment I've ever done in Thailand. It was, I think, total installation 9,000 baht and worth it. So much worth it.
James is saying to type 1 if you want Rob to grow that mustache back. Is that the one that you had in the Anton part? Like that was the goatee, right?
Yeah, I don't remember what I think it was just a mustache and a little bit of something going on down there. I don't know. I know.
Got
that,
some ones coming in, Rob. Maybe you're gonna have to grow that thing back.
No way. Well, what's funny is
Rob, Mr. Mitch.
What's funny is does everyone notice that it's red?
No, I never noticed that.
It's red.
Oh,
If you saw, yeah.
that's unfortunate.
So I guess if I had hair, I guess I'd be a redhead.
Yeah. Well, when was the last time you had hair? When did you start? When did you go bald?
I think I started shaving it around 25 or 27, somewhere
Wow.
way back.
Oh, pretty young.
It was back when I was bodybuilding. I used to be into bodybuilding. What happened, Rob?
Yeah, I was going to say, don't bring these lies into the live show. Come on, Rob. We have a good relationship here of trust, built on trust and honesty. And you're
I'm
bringing
so
these lies
small
in.
now. You can't tell. The only thing
I used to be 30 pounds lighter too. Like I used to look good, man, and lean. Now I'm fat, look like a pear. We'll get back there.
Bodybuilding Rob. 50. There was a video I did a long time ago. It's 50 things about Thailand, Rob. Boy, that one was a trip. I should do another one of those.
Well, so when are you looking to come back to the U.S.? We talked about this a little bit a couple minutes ago, but when are you thinking of doing that? Think it'll be 2022? January, February, when things kind of mellow out?
I don't know. You know what? If I start feeling really, really strange around Thanksgiving and Christmas, I could just say what the heck and just do it then, maybe. If I don't do it then I have to consider, I think my tickets with the airline, I think they expire next March.
Yeah, I mean, you
don't know.
mentioned a good thing, though. Yeah, I mean, you
don't know.
mentioned a good thing, though. I mean, with the airline tickets, I'm thinking about my miles because I have a lot of miles accrued on several different airlines, Philippine Airlines and China Airlines. And I'm wondering when those are going to expire, if they're, going to make those kind of go through with all this current situation, keep those longer. Because I think I have 250,000 miles on Philippine Airlines. If I lose those, I'll be mad because I use those
Yeah,
for
you don't.
upgrades.
Yeah, you don't want to lose those. As much as you fly that plane on this channel, you should have more than that.
Well, you know what I couldn't stand though, Rob, is if I went back to Thailand now, would be wearing the mask for the entire 27 hours of transit because like that's tough, man. I feel like I need to take a break from the mask.
You
I
know,
don't know how James did it.
I never even thought of that. I really
Yeah.
didn't even think about that. You have to wear it the whole flight.
Yeah, the whole flight. And they're talking about January. TSA is going to relax that. So I don't know if it's January 1st or January 15th where they will do away with that mandate. But I don't know if it's going to be the same like when you get to Taiwan or if you transfer, if it'll be different. I'm okay with wearing it during the transfers. It's just like on the flight, man. I want to like take that off, relax. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me see now. Yeah, I had never even thought about, because one leg of the flight is usually a full 12 or 13 hour.
Yeah. It's a long flight. Well, the lucky thing is if you're coming back to the US, it's only 10 hours to Taiwan 10 hours from Taiwan to the US. It's a shorter flight coming back to the US. So it's shorter. Going back, it's like a 15-hour flight. But yeah, I mean, that's still a long time, right? I feel like my max right now wearing a mask is 2 hours. I use that when I go take the train to visit my mom on the weekends. 2 hours is like, I'm like almost hacking up a lung, like starting to breathe the fibers in and stuff. It's like, I need to take it off,
Yeah, I would definitely have to buy a more comfortable mask because the only thing I've been using are those disposable ones.
Yeah. Well, 30 in a Wake Up says that he hit the bathroom every 20 minutes or so during his flight. Take it off, take the mask off. That would make sense. Yeah. Probably a good little tip. I don't know. And
State Fox sent me a message. He said, "Do I want to buy a semi-used car?"
Hey, you see that thing? Man, would you love to be that guy? Like, all right, yeah, lower it down. That guy got fired for sure.
No, the lift broke is what it was.
Yeah, but well, I don't know. Do you think it broke or you think maybe
the hydraulic, you could see the whole thing shift and then fall. So the hydraulic system collapsed in it.
Yeah.
But still.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. I had to put in like the little explosion of confetti, like, hey, congratulations. So hopefully he has a good laugh at that. And then Jake McShane saying you can take the mask off on the plane when you're eating, so eat very slow. Yeah, I would probably do that too. Yeah, and have like a water, always sipping a water,
Get one of those candies from the airport, whatever they are. They're always this big, and just chew on it like the whole flight.
Yeah. And Life After Kids is saying bald is good. Good. I think her husband is bald. I think I saw him on a couple of her videos. They're interesting.
Absolutely.
She had a funny video, Rob. You would love this, where she was signing a lease for a place in Hua Hin, and it was a beautiful place. She even had that YouTube creator Jira, the real estate person, kind of having her on video, talking it through, and it was great. But then she said that at night, it's like it was a totally different place. Like the wildlife came out. She doesn't know what was going on outside of her place, but she had to move out. Like she got out pretty quick. She only stayed, I think, a month, and she's like, I'm out of here, and moved to Bangkok. So she had a beautiful,
like the forest wild or party wild?
No, I mean, it was like a nice house with a pool and everything in Hua Hin. But I think just at night, everything came out from the woodworks, and it was like not good. A lot of crazy sounds, things clawing at the windows, trying to get in there. It's like a horror movie.
Well, we have a lot of monkeys over here. I mean, everywhere.
It was probably that. It was a lot of that too. She was saying, yeah. But it's a great video. She kind of walks you through why she left Hua Hin. And it's funny because the last video I watched was her beautiful house that she was renting there. And then all of a sudden, it was like she was saying, like, it's monkeys coming out at night, people clawing at the windows, like a horror movie.
That reminds me of the old movie, The Money Pit.
Yeah.
Beautiful house, and then everything's wrong on the inside.
Yeah. And let me see. Will Smith is saying, I think given you don't need to wear business class, they'll eventually have to relax it in economy. Oh, okay. So you don't have to wear it in business class. That's interesting. And that makes sense because you're so far apart on some of the business class, areas.
Yeah. So That would, well, on Emirates, there's no way I could upgrade to a business. That's very expensive.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So the cheapest business class that I started using when I first started coming to Thailand was Philippine Airlines. They're about 30% less than any other airline, like China Airlines, Emirates, Cathay Pacific, which can be pretty expensive. I used to treat myself to China Airlines business class on my birthday once a year. When I would go to Thailand on my birthday, I would pay the expense for business class, a little present to myself. But Philippine Airlines is pretty cheap, and they do the lay flat seats. The only hassle is they transfer through Manila, which can be a bit of an armpit of an airport. Sorry, anyone from Manila in the chat, but it's not my favorite airport to go through. It's a bit of a hassle. So I know.
Do you think you'll be hit? You think you're going to head over this way anytime or no?
Yeah, I think so. January, February is definitely on my calendar. I'm thinking that's going to be a good time for me to come over. I see myself probably coming over for a month at that time and checking out condos, places. Jomtien is a place, Rob, where I had a condo for about a year in Jomtien, Viutile 5C in Jomtien. Great place. I loved it there. It was still close enough to Pattaya so you could partake in the nightlife, get all crazy. Mm-hmm. But you could be far enough away to where you could say, yeah, I don't want that today. I'm going to stay in Jomtien, eat somewhere else,
I tell you what, the first time I ever went to Pattaya, I stayed at a hotel in that place. They never sleep. They're screaming, drunk in the streets, having fun all night. I mean, 5 o'clock in the morning, there's still going on.
Yeah. And I've stayed at the place above iRovers. And that place is like, you got the Billabong bar with their cover songs. And some of those cover songs are not the best. So that'll keep you up. But the good thing is, like, it does kind of go asleep. It stops about like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you usually sleep in a little bit late. So it's okay. Good morning to Icy. That's my style. She's going to be on the show next week. Have you checked out her videos, Rob? Icy, that's my style. She's got a great channel.
Every now and then I flip through.
I'll tell you what, she's very technically proficient with her equipment. Have you seen her rig? She's got some good stuff, man. Yeah.
Is that a metaphor?
Yeah, it's a metaphor for like her equipment. Come on,
her
man.
Equipment.
Come on,
I love
man.
her equipment. Yeah.
Keep trying to use that. I don't know.
I love her equipment.
Probably using the wrong term. We're going to put it in the chat. Like, what the hell are you talking about, Richard?
Speaking of state-of-the-art equipment, a friend of mine, this is way off topic, and it has nothing to do with her, but I thought about it. This morning, 2 of my friends over here posted on Facebook, 2 ladies that they went and got their nose redone, nose job.
Yeah.
For those of you that have never been to Thailand up here, they go to the doctor and can get a nose job, just like walking in to buy stamps.
Yeah.
They don't even have to make an appointment. They just walk in, they go in, and they've got it to an art now that 90 minutes later, you're walking out and you got a brand new nose. And 2 days later, they take the bandages off, and I'm just looking at it because in America, it's like a big deal. We're going next week. Sure. I got an appointment. I'm getting a nose job. I'll be out of service for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And over here, they just walk in like 7-Eleven and go, I'll take that nose.
Have you seen much difference when they go in the before and after? Because I can't. I think it's kind of the same. Yeah, you can.
The main thing that they're getting put in, a lot of times they don't even break. They do break it, but it's right here. All the Thai people want mostly is to make a bone piece right at the eye going down. Unless they have that flat nose, then they want it to come out. They don't like their nose to be flat.
Can you take this asshole back to America, please?
I deserve that.
Dr. Rob. Dr.
Damn
Rob.
right.
Dr. Rob. No, it's interesting because the reason I say that is I've seen before and after pictures where I can't really see the difference, but maybe it's just me and my bad eyesight getting older. I don't know. Interesting.
No, I know what you mean, but yeah, I've seen. I can actually, and they get the jaw implants too. I don't know if you've seen those.
Yeah. I feel like this show has gone crazy. Now we're talking about like plastic surgery and shit.
Hey,
we should bring someone from Singapore. Start talking about the doctors.
You woke me up in the morning. You get what you get.
Hello to CJ Paradise. Nice to see you in here. CJ is always like the reliable guy that comes into the shows, so I appreciate that. You know what I don't see you doing anymore on your videos, Rob, is the squirrel thing. That was a big thing you used to do, like squirrel, then go to an animation of the squirrel.
You know what I don't do anymore is videos.
Hey, you said it, not me.
I've been getting hell, but yeah, because what happens is when I'm out on the street and a good-looking girl walks by, squirrel, but I'm not out on the street. So when I'm in this wonderful mustard-colored room, there's nothing to distract me.
Yeah.
except talking about plastic surgery.
Kobus is saying that Thailand's actually catching up to Korea with regard to plastic surgery. That's interesting. I know there's a lot of places like that that'll do like fillers and stuff like that in Pattaya, but I wouldn't know who to trust to recommend anyone to go to. I don't know. So weird.
Jessica Rabbit just got her nose done.
But it's interesting, Rob. You mentioned something that's interesting to me is the fact that it's like it does become grind. You've been doing it for like 6 years now. I mean, is it one of those things, Rob, where you wish you could take like a year off and just like not do it for a while? Or do you crave doing the videos?
I don't want to take a year off, but I tell you, the other day I packed all my camera gear up to go out to meet Fawn for dinner. And I just wasn't in the mood. I didn't have an idea. I didn't have a thought. And I had a brief thought that I was like, you know what? I won't even take the camera. Let me just go out and have a dinner without worrying about getting everything recorded. And it felt a lot better because, I feel like everything I do, I think I need to film. And sometimes it's a bit much. Yeah. I mean, it's not fun to think, well, I didn't have my camera, so I missed this shot. And feel like I let myself down and let other people down. So I do wish I could take time off a little bit, but YouTube doesn't reward you for that.
Yeah, they don't. And I found that out when I took my 1 month break from the live show. It's really was like building up from scratch again. So it's not easy. But one thing I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, because you mentioned like, hey, Richard, when are you coming back to Thailand? I think probably January, February. I'd love for it to be January. It may end up being February, just based on like, I'd love to not have to wear a mask, but I'll come without a mask. I'd love for them to get rid of the certificate of entry. That would be one less thing I'd have to jump through. The testing would be nice if that went away, if we had maybe 3 jabs. I know I'm due for a booster in January. So maybe if I wait until January, get the booster and go. But what I'm getting to this long-winded question is, I've mentioned Jom Tien, but what do you think about like Kamala for people like me to come and live? What are some of the good things that you see there that you recommend to others?
Well, Phuket, since they started earlier than everyone else, Phuket is pretty much kind of normal when you're there. From what everyone's told me down there, I mean, of course, the bars have turned into restaurants magically. And now they're allowed to serve alcohol at restaurants, I think until 10 p.m. Whereas in Pattaya is suffering the hardest out of any tourism area. It's Pattaya. I feel real pain for Pattaya. So I would tell anyone to go to Phuket first because it's more normal. I mean, it's more like the Thailand that they remember. If you go to Pattaya, it's like the desert island or somewhere. I mean, it'd
be a little depressing, right?
Yeah, so the first thing that pops in my mind is that you would have more of a traditional experience in Phuket today. Next month could be completely different, but that's what I would say. I'd say Kamala's a little slow right now, of course, but you could still go all the way around the island down to Rawai and Phuket town. So there's a lot more to see with a lot more normal activity.
Gotcha. Makes sense. I want to say just real quickly, congratulations to Mark for being out of quarantine. So Mark actually came to Pattaya, was in quarantine for 2 weeks, and now he is out getting a haircut tomorrow. So anyone that saw the picture of Mark from last week on the plane, hair was pretty long. He was overdue for a haircut. So good to see him getting a haircut tomorrow. It's great. Congrats on being out, man. That's got to be tough to go through that, huh, Rob, to be in a hotel like that for 2 weeks.
I don't know, man. I've been stuck in this place for 5 months. I'm like a caged rat now. I don't even care anymore.
So what are the surroundings? Is it like a town there where you are? Can you walk around?
There's nothing here but factories.
Interesting. Well, why'd you
If I
choose there?
walk
Because
out,
you have friends there that you're staying with? Is that the situation?
yeah, I came up here because I have friends. I have friends all over, and I was on my way from Pattaya heading back to Phuket, and I said, "Well, I'll come up this way and say hey to my friends here, and then I'll go to Bangkok and say hey to my friends here." And as soon as I got up here, it went into a deep red zone, and we weren't allowed to go anywhere. I said, "All right," and here I am 5 months later, still in a deep red zone. But they lifted up. The gyms are opening up today. You mentioned getting haircuts. They just opened up the haircuts 4 weeks ago. The barber shops.
Yeah.
With the people here couldn't even get their haircut.
Yeah. That's interesting. So Will's saying, I like Jump TN too, Reeshard, but there are people walking around, to the ratio of people secretly filming people walking around is disturbing. Yeah. I mean, I guess we're seeing more of that. I think we'll probably see more of that once things get back to normal, is because the cameras are getting so small now, Rob. So people can go around and film people. And I'm not really a big fan of that. I made that Reeshard Returns to Thailand video series where I actually filmed at night, like walking street and stuff like that. I will tell you, so I made that like over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I don't know if I would make that same series again today. Like knowing what I know now, I think I'd probably decline doing that. Just things have changed for me.
Yeah, I've always been, I've never done a lot of nighttime filming. I've always mostly done daytime, which is a little more forgiving. When people see me, they still think I'm crazy. Especially, it used to be cool if you had a big rig, like you had a big camera on a tripod or something, and people go, "Oh, he must be a YouTuber or something." But now it looks like more evasive, like what you were saying, invasive. It looks, and I get a lot of permission before I film after the sun's gone down. I ask everyone around me, because the last thing I want to be is that guy and I won't do those sneaky shots, just hidden cameras that some people do. I won't do that.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because those are the videos I used to love to watch when I came back from Thailand, like 2015, 2016, like the Bangkok 112 or the King Epic ones, just because they were walking through all the city. But you know what's funny, Rob? I started to notice that some of those videos were old. So like they would have like Miami Club that was shut down for like a couple years, and they were putting it in there like it was a recent walk and talk. Oh, so I stopped watching those channels. I'm like, that's BS. Like that's an old video. They were just kind of recycling the same footage. I was like, oh man, it's a shame.
Yeah, well, I can see that for people that used to just come over here for a couple of months and go back home and then edit their videos over there, they probably got this database of stuff, and maybe they just really enjoy making videos, and they just took what they had and did it. But you're right. I mean, I never thought about the timing of it, but you're right. And going back to what you were saying now about filming, I think it's the best way that you would do it now is to get a nice camera phone and just walk around with the phone doing it, because everyone has a telephone filming. So you blend in with everybody.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because I feel like if you have a huge camera on a tripod with a dead cat on top, like people are going to say like, what's going on? In fact, I saw a video recently. I think it was on Retire Like a King's channel, Greenie and 5-5 with Icy. They walked into a hotel and Icy was there with their camera on the tripod, the handle with a dead cat. And I guess they said like, no professional filming in here. Like we don't do that. They thought they were like a whole corporation coming in and filming. Yeah. So they kind of got told to stop. And I think Greenie was saying like, if it was just like what you're saying, just a phone on a gimbal or something, it probably would be okay. But she's got a professional setup, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and
she got that Sony ZV-1 with the dead cat on. Like, that's nuts, man. It's good.
It's true. If you walk in with that system, it could either work for you or against you. But if you just have a selfie stick and a phone, that no one's going to say, they're going to think you're on TikTok or something.
Yeah. I feel like you got to kind of dress the part though, too. You got to like dress it down a little bit if you're going to be that person on the phone. Look like you don't know where you're going, just looking all around. Well, but I feel like, but with, we talked about this before I get to this. Hello, Rides. Hello, Lucas. Good morning from Pattaya to Richard. Richard's mom. Oh, she's going to like that. My mom will like that. She always likes when people say hello to her, and all the distinguished guests in the chat. So Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Pattaya, definitely not a good time right now for them, right? But one thing you mentioned
No.
before was that you definitely have a little bit of trouble when you go there because everyone's yelling your name. You're such a known personality in the Thai
Yeah.
vlogging community. What's that like? Does it kind of suck?
No, it's actually really cool. In Pattaya, in Pattaya, I can't walk down any street and not get recognized. But it's always been good. I can't think of any time that someone hasn't, said, hey, that it hasn't been good. I mean, sometimes it can be a little awkward of, not knowing who they are. And they're just going, hey, come have a beer. And I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
But
So is that kind of weird?
like being,
Is it weird people yelling your name like, hey, Rob, and you don't really know who that person is? Do you feel obligated to turn around and go and talk to them even if you're kind of late to go somewhere?
yeah. I definitely talked to him. Kevin was better at it than me. Kevin would go and hang out with him half a day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He would. And I was more like, hey, nice to meet you. Cool. And then I kind of run out of things to say. For people that don't know me, I'm pretty quiet, but in real life, when the camera's not on, if I don't know the people around me, I'll sit and play a game on my phone and not speak for hours.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm on the camera or sitting with a friend, I won't shut up. But so strangers, sometimes I don't know what to say to them.
Yeah, I could see that. Like people expect to see the person that's on camera in real life, but you got to kind of play it more chill.
That's another thing. I've gotten people that have talked bad about me. They said I'm not the same guy that I am on the videos, but nobody should be like that.
Yeah, that'd be a little much. Like if you were like that all the time, that would not be good.
Thailand Rob. How you doing?
Yeah.
I had coffee today. Coffee.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'll have what he's having. But I've known people like that are on different energy levels. Like you're kind of waking up in the morning and they're already like on, they're going for it. So
yeah.
A little difficult.
I do. I know people like that like the Energizer Bunny. They jump up and they're off and gone. Woo.
Mr. Mitch is saying that people are always yelling at him. Hi, George, to me. Apparently they think he's George Clooney. So I could see that. Mr. Mitch, very similar to George Clooney. Very attractive man.
What a burden to bear.
I know. Everyone's like trying to, tackle him in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Mitch is living the dream, though. I got to tell you, I'm so happy for Mr. Mitch being over there in Thailand because he's such a hard worker his entire life. And even like when he was back in America, he was working hard and then still being a moderator on several different channels. Like such a hard worker. It's nice to see him kind of relaxing, enjoying life now again.
He's 100% dependent. I can tell you, if every time I've asked him to mod, no matter what time of day it was, he was there.
Yeah. James is saying when Rob and him first met, he thought he was about to get a beat down. Well, we got to know more about that. Do you know anything about that story?
I think the first time I met him was at the Hideaway. Yeah, I remember not knowing who he was, and he looked so mean.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking, I don't know if he likes me or not.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's two sides to every person, right? You have the camera person. So I could see James maybe being a little more reserved in real life. Like, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Not so much like, hey, how you doing? Hey, it's all good.
Yeah, every time I met him, it seemed like someone had just pissed in his cornflakes.
Well, you're making friends wherever you go now, Rob. That's awesome.
Then I realized that's his happy face. His happy face is,
Hey, he's a very serious guy. Nice.
He's a very serious man. Even when he's got beautiful women sitting next to me, he's like, and next to him, he's just like, Let
me see. I was just seeing that Carl's Thailand was saying hello to Ben Manila, and I just missed Ben's comment. There we go. Talking at Sick Puppy. I look forward to seeing you later, Richard. You'll be Man About Town in your Le Pub t-shirt I have for you. That's great. Looking forward. So Phil from Le Pub Pattaya, I guess, sent Ben with a shirt. So I'll have a shirt that I'm getting later. Maybe I'll wear it on next week's show. That'll be cool. Hopefully it fits. Extra large, fat.
The shirts. I gotta come up with another shirt, man. I haven't done that.
Yeah, you haven't done any shirts in a while. Like that was your thing there for a couple years.
I did a shirt and then I took it down, but I need to do another funny shirt. The one I've got is awesome, but it's kind of everyone that ever wanted one got one. So now I need to come up with something else.
Yeah. So answer my question then, Rob. Should I seriously consider Camilla for my place to live? Would that be, I mean, you're saying it's great, but I'm concerned it might be a little expensive, you know?
You saying live or vacation?
Live. Yeah, live.
Oh, absolutely live.
Yeah.
It's not,
Okay.
well, Phuket's more expensive than anywhere else on Thailand, but
Yeah.
not crazy. Okay, so you're gonna pay $300 a month for a normal size house to rent a month. So 10,000 to 12,000 baht. You can spend more if you want to, but I know I live there and I don't have any money. So I'm doing just fine. Now I don't have a car. I don't have an expensive motorbike. I mean, the only payment I really have is my rent.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, though. But the only thing is that Kamala is a small village beach town.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't travel, it can get pretty routine and boring. I mean, there's not a whole lot to do after you've been there a year.
Yeah, and I feel like you can kind of feel it out a little bit. You know who was there? I think you met back in the day was Gotta Love Thailand Dave. I think he came and you kind of hung out for. I think he was there for about a month, and he said he liked it, but just wanted to try a different location. So
Sure.
maybe it's one of those things. That's the power of renting places, right? Is you can kind of move around. Yeah.
Yeah, but in Thailand, it's so easy to do. You could either have a base camp, like for example, right now. I mean, I still have my house down there, but I'm still traveling. I was in Pattaya, and now I'm up here. And if it was free to roam about, I love Isan. There's so many different places to go. I'm not a big fan of Chiang Mai, but I've been there 4 times. But you can still just travel all you want to and still have your small little place in Kamala to go back home to and be the quiet area. I know a lot of people that go to Patong say they like that it's that close, but they like Kamala because they want it to be quiet at night when they want quiet.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. And that's what I kind of felt was the deal with Jom Tien. Like has a great nightlife right next door, but it's kind of, you can just live the beach life if you want, you know, nice condo, get away from it all. And for me, it's important to have like a lot of Western food restaurants. I like Western food. You know, I can eat Thai food, but you know, I prefer Western food. And Jom Tien has that for me. I don't know if Kamala has that or not.
Not as much. Like Kamala's so small. Just an example, there is no McDonald's close. I mean,
yeah, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, we have Western food places, but nothing like Bangkok or Patong. Patong, you could, you know, you've got Irish pubs that have their. So yeah, there's a lot more food there.
Sick Puppy is saying that Ben and him will turn myself into a San Francisco night crawler. Oh, this is not looking good. Not looking good for me tonight. Better come with my A game tonight. Oh my gosh. That's great. Yeah, it's really interesting, Rob. I feel like there's a lot of business owners that are suffering in Pattaya. You know, I talked to Brian Flowers. I talked to Phil over there at Lip Hub Pattaya. It's a tough time. I feel like what we could all be doing to help out is maybe put the negative comments on vacation for a while and maybe just start putting their supportive comments because everyone's so quick to say, Pattaya is never coming back. It's dead. It's gone. You know, like that was interesting the first month or two of the situation. But now I feel like it just doesn't help anyone. Like, how is that helpful to say that? Like, that's your opinion. Just say like, hey, I can't wait to come back and spend money in your bar. Like, I think a comment like that is helpful for someone who's going through a tough situation, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I've sat here many nights trying to think what I could do. And I don't have the power to do what I mean, I wish I had more connections and more power to get things changed because I feel so bad for all the people. I mean, even the Thai people watching the news are talking, they're saying, Pattaya, man, it's people are camping out in front of grocery stores for people to give them food because they've just run out of money. It's been 2 years, you know?
Yeah. It's really unfortunate situation, but hopefully we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe, you know, come January, things will pick up. It sounds like November is the big date now. so softening of regulations. I was just watching the Tiger news recently and then looking at the Pattaya news, and very interesting. I think things are changing here, starting to move a little quicker now. I feel like we would have seen this a year ago, but now it's finally coming true.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday they reduced the quarantine down to 7 days.
Yeah, that's good.
And 10 in Bangkok. So yeah, next month should be a whole lot more relaxed, more than this month.
So the big question I have for you, and this is the final question, so this will be your final answer, is did you do this entire chat with no Coca-Cola?
I don't have any Coca-Cola in the house right now.
I bet you were cursing me out when you woke up. You're like, oh, hell no. Are you kidding me?
No, I still got my coffee though. I do. I as long as I've got my coffee, Coca-Cola, and then beer and water, that order.
I don't feel so bad. But hey, I wanted to thank you for coming on for your second appearance. Thank you so much. Thanks for all that you do to support the channel too. I appreciate the shout outs and things that you do when I'm on your live streams and stuff like that. So thank you.
And people don't know that I'm your secondhand DJ.
Editor. Because I'll send Rob video files. I'm having trouble with editing the audio. So I'll pick a good song, and just so you know, like the song you just don't put it in the video and let it play. Like you got to mix it up so the best part repeats at a certain time. And that's kind of like my Achilles. Like I'm not very good at that. So I'll send Rob usually the video and the audio, and he'll mix it for me. So he helps out a lot. You did a couple of them for me. Yeah, it was great. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
A little secret. Cool. Well, have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Thanks for coming on, man.
No problems. Have a good night over there in America.
All right. See you later, bud.
Bye.
And that's it. Checkout time. Gotta go. Thank you guys so much. All right, I gotta go, right? Anton!
Can you take this asshole back to America, please?
Woody, don't forget that.
Yes, that is Kamala. Gray sky and brownish water. Because it's been here. But anyway, I was traveling all day long and...
I love talking to Rob. That was a lot of fun. We were talking a little bit about Pattaya, and I thought this might be a good video to put in for the intermission today. So I have an intermission coming up for you, about 60 seconds. We'll take a break. I'll show you a video. We'll come back, and then we got the fun stuff. Vlogger news with our surprise guest. This is great. I'm hoping this will take off, and we can make this be a regular thing. So I'm going to show you this intermission video that's actually a little clip from my Part 7, Reeshard Returns to Thailand, titled Chiang Rai Reset. So take a look at this. We'll be right back. While it was nice to get away to Chiang Rai for a day, it was also nice to be back in a place where everyone knows my name. The poet and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "When you come into this world, you are crying and everyone around you is smiling. Live your life in such a way that at the end, you are smiling and everyone around you is crying." If you spend time in Pattaya, you will almost certainly be guaranteed that at the end, you will have that smile. Thanks for watching. Well, I hope you appreciate that intermission video there. Tommy J was saying it was the good old days. And, when I was kind of putting that together for today's show, I was thinking, wow, those are really some fun times. I like looking back on that. That's a great city, Pattaya, and I think it will be coming back soon enough. As soon as they open up, I think we're all going to be flooding back there. It'll be same, not different. So Rob is saying he had a lot of fun on the show. It's always nice having Rob in there. He's saying, thank you. Appreciate that. And Nikki Dunn saying, great chat, 20 seconds in Thailand. Appreciate that. I did see that Baldy Brian in Thailand was saying he wants to change his channel name again to 19 seconds in Thailand. I don't think that's going to work, Baldy Brian. But we're going to be showcasing one of his videos today. So stay tuned for our vlogger news segment. And I'm super excited about this segment today because we have a surprise guest that's going to be joining us. And it's going to be secret until we play the vlogger news intro. So guess in the chat who you think it might be coming on today, joining us. We're going to run through the vlogger news, talk about all the great vloggers out there. And I'm going to play the vlogger news intro and we'll see who it is in about 30 seconds.
Hello, this is Mr. Egg from the Pattaya, and this is Vlogger News on the Reeshard Travel Live Show.
Carl from Carl's Thailand. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Carl is our secret guest to run through vlogger news with me. Man, Carl, you're looking lean and mean.
Yeah. I when I was traveling on the road with Nick Dean, NDTVI, I put on a few pounds and got a bit out of shape, drinking far too much beer. So the first thing I did in Pattaya was start going to the gym with Brian, and we've been going for it.
Yeah, he's been telling me you guys been going like every day, working out, huh?
Yeah. It's actually reached a stage where I'm sort of really enjoying it now,
That's great. Well, you're definitely a fan favorite. Remember when I was looking back on the interview you did on my show a while back, it's just a great comments in the chat. So everyone loves your videos. And I thought it'd be good to bring you on to help me kind of run through some of the vlogger news I'll be doing today, because some of these individuals, like you saw, I shared the list with Carl before the show. So he knows who we're profiling today and some of his friends. So some familiar names, right?
Yeah.
But one familiar name is yours. So you had a great video recently that's got quite a long title, Carl. I see the trend is to go longer titles. You even talk about how it's filmed 4K, HDR, Dolby Vision.
You got to get it in, haven't you?
I guess it's all about keywords, right? You gotta for YouTube.
Yeah. I don't know if it works that way anymore, but you got to try.
But Carl, congratulations, because you're officially monetized, right? So I want to say, congratulations, man.
That's right. I just found that out last night. I just opened the emails and, obviously I knew I'd applied. But it come through really quickly.
I know one thing you were lacking a little bit on was not the subscribers. You were way over. People love your channel. It was the hours, so you're a little under the, right? Which is 4,000 hours, a lot of hours.
Far-flung places, you can't knock videos out 2 or 3 a week,
Yeah.
You need a bit of recovery time.
So let's do this. Let's get to the vlogger news. But the first news story I wanted to cover was yours. So I have a little clip for your video you did here. I love your videos, Carl. It makes me realize I'm too lazy myself. I got to get out of the house a little more. But let's play this little clip. We'll come back. We'll talk about it.
This is the start of the final push.
Carl is such a badass. I look at that. I'm like, such a badass, Carl. And that was Brian Baldy that was walking up that mountain ahead of you, right?
That's right. Actually, you know, like a lot of my videos, if I'm doing them with Brian, you know, you see more of Brian than you do me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I just love that video so much. I wanted to talk to you about that a little bit because so one of the things that's in the video, and you got to watch the whole thing because I clipped it down to like 30 seconds. You're missing all the good stuff. And I guess the best story about that video is you guys were out drinking a little bit the night before. So you're kind of hungover when you started that, right?
Yeah. When I watch that video, I can see it, you know, when I'm going up the hill. And I was a bit out of shape then anyway, you know, and I can just, you know, so I can relive the pain going up.
Yeah, I know
there.
when I do like running on the Embarcadero and I haven't gone running in a while, I feel heavy. Do you kind of feel that when you're climbing, when you're doing hikes like that, you kind of feel just heavy, or is it the out of shape feeling?
Well, that particular one, it was definitely out of shape. Yeah, hungover and out of shape. No, normally I'm right. Yeah, you get tired, you know, you get tired and sweaty. It's things you don't think of, like the sun in your face, you know, really intense, bouncing off the rocks. You know, sometimes when you're doing them shots with the gimbal, you're literally staring straight into the sun, you know, trying to.
Yeah, I think you get that a lot too. I see a lot of the shots like the sun's right in your eye, but you do a great job with that, the climbing, and then also the drone footage. I got a cool little clip I'll play a little bit later, but let's do this. Let's kind of pivot because I can't make it all about you, Carl. I talked to you for an hour, man, if I could, but I want to profile some of your friends like Baldy Brian in Thailand. So he has a video that he released recently, An Oasis of Serenity, and then another long title, Carl. So you and him are like in cahoots together with these long titles, man. But I'll tell you, the 4K makes a difference when it comes to these. They're very picturesque. They look good.
Yeah.
So tell us about this one, because you watched this one of his, right? This is a recent video where you're actually in it as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was another little, that was the same day actually as the one you just showed. We did that before we went up the mountain.
Yeah.
So yeah, another hungover video. But I love it. I love it when we do videos together like that because you get two perspectives of it. You know, like so I watch his videos and I think, oh yeah, maybe I should have done it that way, or you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I feel like very similar channels, right? So I feel like if you're a fan of Carl's Thailand, you should definitely check out Baldy Brian in Thailand. Similar videos. You'll see Carl on there a lot of the time, but just all different types of videos. The hiking videos are great. Did he utilize your drone for any kind of footage on this one, Carl?
Well, I shared the footage. I mean, if he comes with me, I'll send it to him. But you know, of course, obviously, he edits it differently and does his thing. You know.
Yeah. But he's some great videos there. I was surprised how quickly he was hiking up that mountain, that cliff, on your video, because that was, I guess, a pretty sharp rocks, right?
Oh, they're really sharp. You know, really. I'd hate to fall on that. That's for sure. Yeah, we did that one once before. You know, we'd originally planned like a very kind of adventurous hike in a national park. Yeah. But we had a long drive there and we got turned back. They wouldn't let us go to this national park, even though it was open. So we just thought, okay, we'll do a couple of spots around Kanchanaburi. Yeah,
well, I love the videos, man. I loved his and I loved yours. So keep doing what you're doing, man, because just some excellent videos coming out from your channel lately. So I'd say check out Carl's Thailand and check out Baldy Brian in Thailand. He's looking to grow his channel.
Thank you. Yeah. Great. Yeah, we're planning something next weekend as it happens.
Nice. Yeah, look forward to those. And then another one, person that you've met a couple of times, Chocolate Man in Thailand. So he's James. Back in America. So, you've met James a couple of times, right?
Yeah. I've met James. Yeah, I met him at Kevin Thailand's kind of a belated wake. And I met him at Le Pub a few weeks ago, just totally by coincidence. I walked in there and it was a bald YouTubers convention. It was myself, James, Chocolate Man in Thailand, Kevin, 13 a wake up, and of course Phil, Le Pub Pattaya.
I really enjoyed this video from James because hadn't been in America for I think it was over 2 years now, and his first stop
maybe longer than that. I thought
was it 4 years?
4 years.
Let's see in the comments. See if James will tell us how long that's been. I have to look for that. Let me know if you see that. If he says 2 years or 4 years, it might be 4. But it was a great video because it shows like he hasn't seen America in a while. He's kind of taking it all in, and it was interesting seeing his perspective. And his big meal that he had been waiting for was Chick-fil-A. So he saw Wendy's on the way to his hotel, and he was thinking, oh, maybe I'll go to Wendy's, but he decided, like, let's go to Chick-fil-A.
I like the bit where he just forgot that he could take the mask off. You know?
Yeah, that was great.
Part of our daily habits.
Yeah, I think that was a good point, Carl. So I think he was walking around outside and he passed a couple by and they looked at him kind of crazy. And he realized it's because he's wearing a mask outside. They don't do that in Seattle. Yeah, a little bit of culture shock. And Brock was saying it was 4 years. So yeah, he hadn't been to America for 4 years.
Yeah, I thought
long time, man. But that was a really good video because he goes into Best Buy. He's looking for a laptop. And one of the things he was saying was, if you don't see a video for me in a couple days, it's because I'm trying to find this new laptop. He had nothing to do his editing on. So I guess it had been a couple days.
Yeah, that really surprised me. You know, the goods weren't available in America. You know, I just didn't realize that the situation sort of reached that extent.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the stores in America are keeping a very low inventory. So a lot of stuff has to be ordered. And you're just better off going on Amazon or something like that, you know?
Sure.
So that was a great video. I love that. Keep doing those videos. I'm looking forward to seeing more from James on his America trip, his roundup of, I guess, meeting up with all the other vloggers in the US. And then 30 and a Wake Up did a great video on a condo in Jomtien. I'm not sure if you saw this one, Carl. This is a good one.
I did. I watched it. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. You know, his stuff. I've seen a few of his videos, and they're really good quality. You know, good editing. There was a couple of really neat little transitions he did there. You know, I think these little things you kind of notice when you start doing your own videos. You know, you notice these little touchings and his colours, everything spot up, and what a condominium. I mean, what a bargain.
I think it was cheap. Yeah, cheap. And my biggest concern, Carl, is like when I come back in January, February, are those prices going to be double? You know, maybe not. I don't know.
I think, you know, if the place opens up, people are going to want to claw their money back, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's so good. It's what you mentioned about the different camera angles, the pans and stuff that other people do. I pick up on that stuff too. I'm like, I should try that, you know. So yeah, I definitely did a good job. He's got very good,
you know, that Kevin, he's got very good kind of he explains things very well. You know, I'm a bit sort of like, oh, we're here. This is, you know, but he just kind of, you know, explain. I tend to rely on subtitles a bit, whereas Kevin kind of explains it all as he goes along. You know.
Yeah. Why do you do that, Carl? I know you're hard on yourself. I know when we last talked, you're like, I know I should, you know, do more narrations, but it's just easier. Is it more difficult, like from a technical perspective, to do the narrations afterwards than just type it in some?
No, not at all. I think it's quite often if I'm somewhere like in the jungle or in a mountain, or if they, you know, if I'm with someone having a conversation, I really kind of like that live thing, you know, and I think the subtitles kind of, you can have that without interrupting. I did play around. I did do some voiceover on one of my videos. You know, it was all right. Yeah, maybe if I get myself a better microphone.
Yeah. And then Mr. Mitch lives in that same condo. So the, you know, moderator extraordinaire lives in the same condo as Kevin. So that was kind of cool to see them talking about that. Mr. Mitch is a couple floors above him. And then Time to Get Going says, had to order his new laptop. Nobody carries the more pricey ones. That is the truth. Like I find like the more the base models they'll carry, but you know, YouTube creators, man, we need some special stuff in our laptops. And a lot of times they just don't carry that kind of RAM, that kind of stuff. So it's interesting. Yeah, so that was really a good video. Yeah, that was a good video. I appreciate that. And then one of my favorites recently is Icy. That's My Style. So she's actually coming on the show next week. Excited to have Icy back. But she did a great video walking around Bangkok. And I love that because I'm not really a big fan of Bangkok. So I love when other people go there and film it and I get to enjoy it without having to actually be there.
Well, you know, for me, what I got out of that video was, you know, I used to live in Bangkok 30 years ago. And it's a place I don't get to very much now. So it's just kind of looking and noticing all the changes, you know. And again, from technical point of view, you know, like she'd had some night shots. And because how good her camera was, you know, in the low level light, there was no noise in it and things like that. The only disappointment was we didn't see any of her, did we?
Yeah.
It reached a stage where I was like looking in shop windows to see if I'd get a reflection or something. But
Yeah, she was a little shy during that time. I noticed that as well, too. It was more of like a walk and talk for that one. But outstanding equipment that she has, and really comes through, you know. Yeah. So yeah, she's getting a little bit of kudos in the chat there, which is good. She deserves it. She definitely takes it very seriously, you know, what she's doing there. And it's definitely appreciated. It's noticed, too. I think when you look at her videos, you can notice that, right?
Yeah, it was very smooth, and like I said, you know, the low level light stuff was, you know, yeah, definitely good kit.
So a new channel that I found recently was Keith in Thailand. You heard of this guy?
I've known Keith for nearly as long as I've known Brian. Yeah.
So for those that don't know, Keith is the father of Brian Flowers. So Brian Flowers has a YouTube channel, business owner in Pattaya. Well, Keith is actually Brian Flowers' dad. And I found this channel by Brian, and I got to tell you, Carl, I feel like this channel is way better than Brian Flowers. I love this, man. He had a cool video just recently on the Robin Hood Tavern, but also went to Jom Tien, watching the boats come in. That was cool.
Yeah. He made me hungry with one of the Robin Hood. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was actually. I was surprised to see that was open. I thought that was still closed down. I didn't know that was open.
Yeah,
so.
kind of. Yeah, I was a bit confused because the first part of the video was he was saying it was takeaway only, and then he was like focusing on people's breakfast. So I guess he did it in two parts.
I see you saying I'm excited to meet you too, Richard. That'll be great. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people when I come back to Thailand. So that'll be nice to meet people in person. But yeah, so Keith in Thailand is just starting out his YouTube channel. So I would say anyone that's interested, go to that channel, subscribe. He could use the subscribers and use a couple of views. And I really like the videos. He's got a kind way. He's got the same kind of Brian voice. Very polished, you know?
Oh, yeah. Keith is very laid back. Very laid back. You know, and he's an interesting guy. You know, he's got a small plane license. I remember the first time I met him, you know, myself and Brian and Keith's late wife, you know, we all went to a little aerodrome and we were waiting for a break in the weather so we could go up in his light aircraft, but it didn't happen that day. You know, it kept raining. But you know, yeah, he's quite an adventurous guy in his way, Keith. You know,
I always feel weird talking about someone when they're not here, but I do have a question. Like, when did he come to Thailand? Did he come to Thailand at the same time as Brian, or a little bit later?
No, he didn't. No. I think Keith first come out here, I'm just guessing, about 7 years ago, 7-8 years ago.
Yeah. So he's living in Pattaya, right? Or does he live in Jom Tien?
He lives in Pattaya. Yeah, he lives over on the dark side, if you know where that is.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool area, man. Dark side's great. A lot of good, bigger homes, nice value. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's really expanded. I used to live over there like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it's just expanded so much now.
Carl, I feel like I could talk to you for hours because you've lived everywhere. You have all these wonderful experiences. It's nuts, man. I feel like you've been
I'm really sort of grateful for that. Yeah, I've just I hate even saying it, but yeah, I've just been just about everywhere in Thailand. Yeah.
I think the thing you're becoming most famous for, though, is the fact that you speak fluent Thai. So I know people are like the go-to with Nick Dean's videos. You're like the go-to for Thai language, right?
Yeah,
although you kind of play it down a little bit. I know you.
Yeah, it's all right. You know, it's Thai, but you know, people say like fluent. Fluent is one of those words. You know, to me, like the literal word means you just kind of like you can have a conversation without any break. Whereas some people interpret it as, you know, you're just like a local. But yeah, it's conversationally fluent. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
But then I've had a long time to get it that way.
Yeah, it didn't just come overnight or in a year or two, right?
Yeah, and I'd say, 2 years to get good. You know, I mean, yeah, obviously it varies, but
yeah, 30 to wake up saying Carl is also fluent in Thai. So yeah, so Kevin knows that you're fluent, although you won't admit. You'll say like, I can speak it a little bit, you know. And then Gator Jake saying Carl is awesome. I aspire to be Carl. See, you're like a fan favorite, Carl. Like a cult following.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice when people notice these things, you know. Yeah, some people say I should speak more Thai in my videos, but I don't, you know, like if it happens, it happens. If there's a situation and I need to speak Thai, I speak Thai. But you know, like I won't speak Thai unless I really need to, you know, because you find like if Thai people can speak Thai, they're usually quite, if they can speak English, they're usually quite proud of that fact, you know, and they show off their English. So, you know, I just let them have that.
Yeah.
You know.
And you mentioned about the some of the drone footage you did. So that for that series, that video where you hiked up the mountain with the rock on the top, what is that rock called? Is that like a famous rock in Thailand?
It's called. No, it's not famous at all. You know, it was Baldy Brian who found that place. It was an obscure place, only just outside of Kanchanaburi Thai Centre. and it's called Inquan, which means
Wow.
like like in suspension, rock in suspension.
Wow.
For the rock. Yeah. And it's next to a temple. You get this a lot. If the temples really kind of like make the most of these natural features.
Yeah. Well, I love the drone footage you had there. I want to show this real quick. I have a little 30-second drone footage of that video. So let's check this out real quick. Really nice job there, Carl, with the drone footage there.
Yeah, it's so great having that drone. Do you know that drone used to belong to Kevin Thailand?
Oh wow!
It did. Who gave it to Nick Dean when he returned to the UK? He gave it to Nick Dean, and it's kind of found its way into my custody now. But
Wow.
I love it obviously because the type of thing that I do. I just love that opportunity to give people a different perspective.
Yeah, I love that shot that you had there in that video because the drone's flying away. And you got this smile on your face. You just look genuinely happy. It's like you're in your element.
No, I do. I am in my element. I love that kind of thing. I love that kind of adventure.
Yeah.
You put the effort in and then you get the reward.
It's really good. Durian's asking a question for you there, Carl. If you had to relocate to another country next week, where would you go? Would it be Thailand? Would it be somewhere else?
Cambodia.
Ooh.
Cambodia, yeah. I've spent 2.5 out of the past 5 years in Cambodia. It's a place I've got a long association with. I first went there in the 90s, in 1996, and I used to go there a lot between 96 and 2005. Then I didn't go there for 9 years. I went there again in 2014, and from then on, I spent a lot of time there. But yeah, I really love it. I love Phnom Penh now. I love the feel of the place. I prefer it now to what it was like, like 25 years ago. It's just I don't know. Yeah, you've got the great choice of food. It's just modern enough.
Yeah.
You can still walk around. So, yeah, that's the answer to the question.
That's interesting. And Gator Jake saying he's got to go back and watch the whole interview because Carl's so informative and entertaining. Been a fan for a while. That's nice. Gator Jake likes your channel.
Thank you, Gator Jake. He's a great guy, Gator Jake. He does a lot for YouTube channels like yourself,
Yeah, he's a big time subscriber of my channel. He did a little video for my 50th show and really appreciate that. But
he's one of those people like yourself who's always sort of supportive,
Yeah, for sure. So, Carl, I want to thank you for coming on and doing the vlogger news with me. This is awesome. I had a good time. Hopefully everyone else enjoyed this, kind of bringing on a vlogger to do the vlogger news.
Yeah, thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
thanks.
Perfect. So we'll send you out with the outro for vlogger news. But Carl, great videos, man. Keep up all the great work. For those that don't know.
Sorry, hello again to Baldy Brian. Looking forward to next weekend.
Are you guys going out next weekend to do a little hike?
We're playing. It might happen, like Brian's a family man. They've got a beautiful young daughter. So, like he has to sort of like when he's got time off, he has to split it. But hopefully we can make it happen.
That's great. We'll look forward to seeing those videos on both channels. But Carl, thanks again for coming on and sharing the vlogger news with me today.
No pleasure. Thanks.
Thailand Rob here, and that's all this week in Vlogger News. Please return your seats and tray tables to their upright position. Thank you for flying Reeshard Travel.
awesome. Loved having Carl on to help me with the vlogger news. That was cool. It's nice having someone to come on and kind of share some comments on the other videos and stuff like that. And hopefully it kind of got a lot of value out of some of the vloggers that we profiled today on the vlogger news. We have Icy, That's My Style, coming on, and next week she'll be coming on, and maybe we might have another special guest coming on for the vlogger news as well. So I appreciate that. Everyone's kind of saying, love it, Carl. They love the drone footage. I know a lot of people are saying, love the drone footage. Beautiful. Those kind of comments I saw. Nikki Dunn saying, thank you, Carl. That's great. I'm glad you really appreciated having him on. He was our secret guest of the vlogger news. So let me know in the chat how you like that. If you like me bringing someone on to kind of share responsibilities for profiling different vlogger news segments, I tried to choose some that Carl will be familiar with, and I sent him the list ahead of time so he's able to make sure he watched all those videos so we could talk about them on the show today. Great. 20 seconds in Thailand saying good times. That's great. And Uli is saying, I want to thank you, Richard, for the shout out and everyone else who supported me so far. I'm still in my recovery, but it's improving now after 1 month. Great to hear, Uli. You know, that, like I said, we profiled that. We talked about that video earlier in the live show today. If Mr. Mitch or Tommy J could just put that link up one more time to that video. If you want to see what happened to Uli, you can check out the video. He talks it through fully, the unfortunate motorbike accident that he had, but he's on the road to recovery. And there's also some options for you to help him support his recovery as well. So I would say check out that video. And my pleasure, Uli, bringing attention to that unfortunate situation. Great. So I'm going to kind of wrap things up here, everyone. Thanks for everyone that tuned in this week for the live show. I'll be back next week with Icy, That's My Style. That's going to be another great interview. Look forward to that. Thank you to my guests today, Carl's Thailand and 20 Seconds in Thailand, Thailand Rob. And I'll say goodbye, everybody.
Everybody get your hands in the air.